Hi, welcome back to Battleship Cove. I'm Tom Lowney. We're here in Inside the History to show you a little about the 16-inch gun turret. We haven't talked about it in a while. We've been busy with other things, but I just want to give you some insight onto how much thought process and what was needed to do for these 16-inch gun turrets designed. The entrance in here as well as down below. The 16-inch 45 caliber turret has two entrances mainly to come in, and that'd be top and the bottom. Now the top has only two ways in back here, and the reason why turret 2 is different from the others is because she's superimposed over turret 1, and when she trains out to either port or starboard side, you can't, as you can see the deck opening here, you can't get into the turret from out there. So this system of piping here that's set up are hand grabs. So you would actually have to get up here. There'd be a ladder, you'd climb up, and then you would go out on the turret as this was swung out where you can't get at it, and you work your way around. Again, missing ladder, can't let the kids climb everywhere. And you come up on turret 2's patio. So this patio is out here for the purpose of egress inside turret and out during normal operations. And you have two hatches here. Your main hatch being right here. And this would be considered an emergency escape hatch for egress. So you'd have your primary entrance and a secondary. That's how you get in the turret. So if you can see on this patio, you can come out as well on this side and work your way over. And as you see, right around. So if the turret was either trained port or starboard side, you'd still be able to access the turret from the turret hatch. Now, a lot of people are wondering about these little indentations here on the side. Just a quick inside to this. You wouldn't fire the guns in this position out that way. Too close. The idea for this is as far as I've been told, was for calibration purposes when you're setting your stops and checking your train limits, so you can come in, max out, swing back around, max out. So you had test points where you could go to, but you wouldn't be firing the ship this close because the pressure wave from the gun would damage everything back aft. You'd only do it if you absolutely have to, but you couldn't because you'd also be hitting the 40 millimeters. So you have a little bit of issue there. So pressure wave is very damaging. But the egress to the turret is here, and these ladder points here, you'll see them, they're over the little clips. Now we removed them because unfortunately kids don't know when to stop. There's no real good safety margin for people on top of the turret, so that's why you're not allowed out there. The quickest way to stop it was to remove the ladders. But you'd have multiple access to the turret because you also have 20 millimeter anti-aircraft guns you'd have to go to. So you had ladders here, ladders here as well. And then if we go up forward, I'll show you where the other ladders were. Here we are again. We're looking at the outside of the turret. So you had access to the above part of the turret on the sides. And here, you can see, do not climb. Kids and adults both are stubborn, so we had to put signs up. But the ladders used to be here. There's one on each side of the barrels. So you had 4 ladders. The reason behind the ladders was access to the top. You can see the pads where the rungs were actually attached. These bloomers, gun bags, keep the water out. Takes a crew, an effort to get them on and off. So you need access points to actually climb and string and then bolt them and secure them in. So these pads are just keep the water out. There's no no air seals or anything inside the turrets, this was the simplest way. These black areas here, these are the gun chases, all right? If you're wondering why you have this, when this gun fires in recoil, this goes all the way back. So to help keep the watertight air seal on this, prevent anything getting into the gun room, this chase here into the housing when you recoil as well is greased. So that way when the gun fires and the recoil action goes right back in the battery, it slides easily. We've painted them black to illustrate the grease, what it would really look like. On the Iowas, they were coming up with a Bondo to fill in here to clean these up. It was mainly aesthetically pleasing that they wanted to hide, because the Iowas had a few cooling cracks in theirs. I think Wisconsin had quite a few. They came on, it was going to cost like $800 a quart to do it. And the Navy said, no, that's acceptable as is, go away. But they're just cracks from the actual molding, and they're acceptable. They're not battle damage, and they're not detrimental to the ship's design or protection. So you find them as you go through the ship on different barbettes in different areas. It's just a cooling crack. All right, now we've started talking about how people get in and out of the turret, but if you're wondering how they unload the ammunition, that's a whole different story. Now these trunks you see here, this is an example of one that's been put rails around it to keep people from hurting themselves. They normally wouldn't be here. We'd have small little rails with detachable chains. But these trunks are for giving access to the magazines. So your ammunition would come out on deck. Now this monorail you see here installed, and for the hoist, chain fall hoist, electric driven, and the chain falls that would run this monorail would go out on deck. Now this is the difference of design from the Iowas to the South Dakotas. Now we're on a South Dakota class battleship. Each class of fast battleships was actually an improvement as it progressed. So here on the South Dakotas, your turrets were at set positions. They didn't have to worry about hoisting positions for onload. Turrets could be centerlined, and you'd bring your stuff, your powder cans, your 16-inch projectiles, you'd bring them in on the monorail, and you'd take them from horizontal to a vertical position to go down the train, down through the trunk with a chain hoist and go all the way down. Okay, we've got a good look at and understanding the fundamentals of accessing the turret from above and below, inside and the outside of the turrets. Turrets had to be built like this so you can access them safely, quickly, effectively, yet give the protection needed against enemy fire, because these are working warships. So now that we have all that done, you can see and understand the operation of the 16-inch gun turret, so how the people had to move. I want to thank you for coming, sharing the information on board, seeing your history, what we try to preserve and bring to you here at Battleship Cove. So like, share, subscribe. Help us preserve the fleet so the fleet can be seen by you, because we're here to preserve our history and show you inside the history here at Battleship Cove. Thank you for your time. I'm Tom Lowney, GMG1, retired, USN. Happy to show you. We'll get back to you and show you some more things coming up. Hope to see you out there. Take care.